flatbreads made from lentils. Yep, and they're easier than you might think. I'm going to show you how to transform these simple ingredients into these amazing no flour, no oil and no fuss lentil wraps that are also high in protein and naturally gluten-free. Stick around till the end to see how to mix up the flavours and even turn these bright green or purple. Perfect for getting kids and, let's be honest, adults to eat healthy without a fuss. These are incredibly versatile. I use them as burrito wraps, filling them with beans, rice and veggies, as tacos, making them smaller, for sandwich wraps. They're perfect for things like hummus and salad, and as a naan alternative when I'm dipping them into curries. Recipe is in the description along with the ingredients and the method. Let's get started. You just need 3 things. That's lentils, salt and water. Start with a couple of lentils and just make sure you pick out any stones or anything that looks like it shouldn't be there. Add 3 cups of filtered water. Less washing up, more hands on, just mix it with your fingers. Then leave it to soak for 3 to 8 hours. I use a crepe maker which is 33 centimeters wide on high heat, but a non-stick pan works just as well. These are the things I find it useful to have on hand. So a non-stick turner, a small flexible spatula, a small bowl of water and a half cup measure. Grab your high-speed blender, check the mixture for any other debris or anything that's floated to the top that looks like it shouldn't be there, picking out any of that grit and getting all of your lentils and all of the soaking water straight into the blender. Then add half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. Just keep checking for a debris all the time and picking it out. That's probably why most people rinse their lentils to start with, but I never bother as I hate washing the sieve. Then blend for 30 to 60 seconds. You may need a few seconds longer if you're using a less powerful blender. You'll know it's done if it's a milk-like consistency and it's fairly smooth when you feel it with your fingers. Preheat your pan, scoop off any foam that forms on the top and just chuck it in the bin. It's mostly just air, but it can make cooking trickier, and for some people it can also mean extra bloating. Measure out and pour half a cup of batter onto the pan and just spread it out evenly. If any holes develop, use a small spatula to add a tiny bit more batter to fill the gaps and prevent any cracking. Then cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes on the first side, then carefully use the non-stick turner to prise the wrap away from the non-stick surface and flip it over, and it'll take less time to cook on the second side, between 1 and 3 minutes. Then stack them on a plate on top of each other as you cook each one. Stacking them will help them to become more flexible as they cool down. Grab a clean wet cloth and clean your griddle pan. Just be really careful not to burn yourself. Then keep pouring and repeating the process. You'll see these first few that I make are a little bit misshapen. This is because I haven't made these for a little while, and then typically the last few I make are always a little bit better shape, and I always remember a little bit too late that a measure with a rounded bottom makes it easier to smooth the mixture into a round shape. And this is the end result. I've got I think 5 here and my child ate 1 or 2 as I was making them. So you should end up with about 6 to 8 wraps. I usually keep these in the fridge on the plate covered with cling film for about a week, reheating them from defrosted in the microwave for a few seconds to make them warm and soften them a little, just like you would with flour tortillas. Here are those add-ins and variations I promised earlier. So firstly, adding spinach makes them green, they look great, and they also add extra nutrition. The way I do this is by reducing the soaking water by half a cup and then adding in a whole cup of packed spinach at the point that I'm blending. I also love making purple ones by adding a little cooked beetroot when blending. Spices and aromatics also work great, so try garlic powder or cumin or also smoked paprika for a little bit of extra flavour and depth. Cardamom also works well, but if you're adding this to a low power blender, just crush it first or soak it with the lentils in order to soften it. Blender tip, if your batter starts to thicken at the bottom, just give it a quick blend to keep it smooth. Practice makes perfect with these. If like me you're thinking, wow, this would be a great recipe to try and make hard taco shells from, I wouldn't bother. I tried this one and baked them in the oven. Unfortunately, they were just absolutely disgusting. If anyone does find a way to work that out, please do let me know in the comments. Thanks for cooking along with me for lentil flatbreads. If you enjoyed this, please look at one of my other videos if you'd like more.